Timothée Chalamet's behavior toward Kylie Jenner has once again become a topic of intense public discussion after recent photos and videos sparked widespread reactions online. Fans across social media platforms have begun questioning whether there has been a noticeable shift in the actor's attitude toward his partner, fueling fresh speculation about the state of their relationship. Attention was drawn to the couple's latest public appearance, where observers noted what they described as a change in Chalamet's body language. Compared to earlier moments when the pair appeared relaxed and openly affectionate, Chalamet was seen as more reserved, with limited eye contact and fewer visible gestures of closeness. These subtle details were quickly contrasted with past appearances, prompting fans to debate whether something had changed behind the scenes. Social media reactions escalated rapidly. Short video clips circulated widely on TikTok, X, and Instagram, with fans dissecting every movement and expression. Longtime followers of the couple argued that the difference in energy was hard to ignore, while others cautioned against drawing conclusions from brief, isolated moments captured on camera. Supporters of Chalamet were quick to point out alternative explanations. They emphasized the intense pressure of public events, demanding schedules, and constant media scrutiny as factors that could influence anyone's demeanor. Known for being protective of his privacy, Chalamet has often appeared cautious in public settings, particularly since his relationship with Jenner became a global headline. The contrast in their backgrounds has also resurfaced in discussions. Chalamet is widely associated with auteur cinema and a low-key personal image, while Jenner is a global businesswoman and pop culture icon accustomed to living in the spotlight. This difference has long fueled debate about their compatibility, making even the smallest perceived change a subject of amplified attention. Meanwhile, Kylie Jenner appeared calm and self-assured in the same appearances. Photos showed her maintaining a composed presence, which led to mixed interpretations. Some fans viewed it as a sign of maturity and confidence in the relationship, while others speculated that it highlighted an imbalance in how the couple now presents themselves publicly. As of now, neither Timothée Chalamet nor Kylie Jenner has addressed the rumors directly. The lack of official statements has only intensified curiosity, allowing speculation to grow unchecked. Without confirmation or denial, discussions remain firmly rooted in interpretation rather than verified fact. Pop culture observers note that this situation reflects the broader reality of celebrity relationships under constant surveillance. When public expectations are high, even minor shifts in expression or posture can be perceived as significant. In the case of Chalamet and Jenner, their relationship exists at the intersection of two powerful entertainment worlds, ensuring that every appearance is closely examined. Despite the online frenzy, there is no concrete evidence suggesting serious issues between the two. For now, the perceived change in Chalamet's attitude remains a matter of public interpretation rather than confirmed reality. Until either party speaks out, the conversation is likely to continue, with fans watching closely for any sign that might clarify what is truly happening behind the scenes. The discussion has continued to gain momentum as more fans revisit past footage, comparing earlier public appearances with the most recent ones frame by frame. Online threads now span thousands of comments, with users debating whether the perceived change reflects a deeper shift or simply the natural evolution of a high-profile relationship navigating intense scrutiny. For many, the fascination lies not only in what was seen, but in what was not, small moments of connection that fans had grown accustomed to suddenly appearing absent. Several entertainment insiders suggest that the timing of this renewed attention is significant. Timothée Chalamet is currently positioned at a critical point in his career, balancing major film projects, award season conversations, and increasing global recognition. At such moments, public behavior often becomes more calculated. Industry observers argue that what fans interpret as emotional distance may instead be professional restraint, especially in environments where every interaction is documented and endlessly replayed. At the same time, Kylie Jenner's public image has been undergoing its own quiet recalibration. While long associated with reality television and social media dominance, Jenner in recent years has emphasized business expansion, brand credibility, and a more controlled public presence. Some fans believe this shift has influenced how the couple appears together, suggesting that both may now be more selective about what they reveal in public, even if their private dynamic remains unchanged. Still, not all reactions have been neutral or analytical. A segment of fans has expressed concern, framing the moment as a potential warning sign. They point to previous celebrity relationships where subtle changes in public behavior preceded official breakups. These comparisons, though speculative, have fueled emotional responses, with some supporters urging others to prepare for the possibility that the relationship may be entering a new phase. Others push back strongly against that narrative. They argue that celebrity culture often projects unrealistic expectations onto couples, demanding consistent displays of affection as proof of stability. According to this perspective, the absence of visible warmth does not equal emotional distance, but rather reflects boundaries being set in response to overwhelming attention. In this view, Chalamet's reserved demeanor could be interpreted as an attempt to reclaim personal space rather than a reflection of his feelings toward Jenner. The debate has also reignited conversations about gendered expectations in celebrity relationships. Some commentators note that Kylie Jenner's composed and confident appearance has been read in conflicting ways, praised as strength by some, questioned as detachment by others. Meanwhile, Chalamet's quieter presence has been scrutinized intensely, with interpretations shifting depending on audience bias. This contrast highlights how public figures are often trapped within narratives they do not actively choose. As days pass without clarification, the story continues to evolve organically through fan-driven discourse rather than confirmed reporting. Entertainment media outlets have begun framing this situation as a case study in modern celebrity relationships, where perception can outweigh reality. Headlines emphasize fans react, netizens speculate, and body language analyzed, underscoring that the conversation is largely built on observation rather than substantiated claims. Sources close to the industry caution against overinterpretation, reminding audiences that public appearances offer only a fragment of the truth. They emphasize that many celebrity couples deliberately minimize interaction in public to avoid fueling headlines, especially when their relationship already attracts outsized attention. In such cases, neutrality can be a protective measure rather than a sign of tension. Despite the uncertainty, interest shows no sign of slowing. Each new photo, each brief clip, becomes part of an expanding narrative that fans eagerly dissect. The lack of direct communication from Chalamet and Jenner has transformed silence into a powerful element of the story, allowing imagination and speculation to fill the gaps. What remains undeniable is the level of influence the couple holds within pop culture. Their relationship continues to spark discussion not only because of who they are individually, but because of what they represent together, a convergence of cinema prestige and global celebrity branding. This unique positioning ensures that even the smallest shift in public demeanor resonates far beyond a single event. Until concrete information emerges, the story exists in a state of suspended anticipation. Fans remain divided between concern and caution, curiosity and restraint. Whether this moment marks a genuine turning point or simply reflects the pressures of life under constant observation remains unclear. For now, Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner remain silent, and that silence continues to shape the narrative. As the public waits for clarity, the discussion stands as a reminder of how quickly perception can transform into speculation in the digital age, and how celebrity relationships often become mirrors for the expectations and assumptions of those watching from the outside. As the conversation stretches into weeks, the scrutiny surrounding Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner shows no signs of fading. In fact, the longer the silence continues, the more layered the narrative becomes. Fans are no longer reacting to a single appearance but to an accumulating pattern of moments, each one reinforcing or challenging their personal interpretation of the relationship's current state. Digital culture analysts note that this kind of prolonged attention often transforms ordinary behavior into symbolic meaning. A neutral expression becomes a headline. A lack of visible interaction becomes a storyline. In the case of Chalamet and Jenner, the expectation of constant chemistry has created a benchmark that any deviation immediately falls short of in the public eye. This dynamic has intensified speculation far beyond the original moment that sparked it. Several viral posts have highlighted contrasts between early sightings of the couple and more recent ones. In earlier appearances, fans recall a sense of spontaneity, shared laughter, relaxed posture, and an ease that suggested comfort despite the cameras. Now, the tone feels more measured. Chalamet appears more inward-focused, often scanning his surroundings, while Jenner maintains a poised, controlled presence. To some, this reads as distance. To others, it signals adaptation. Entertainment reporters emphasize that such adaptations are common as relationships mature, particularly under relentless exposure. What begins as novelty often evolves into caution. When every interaction is dissected by millions, couples may consciously reduce visible intimacy to protect what remains private. This perspective frames the perceived change not as emotional withdrawal, but as a boundary-setting response to overwhelming attention. At the same time, public curiosity continues to be fueled by the broader context of Chalamet's rising career trajectory. With each high-profile role, he is increasingly positioned as a leading figure in global cinema. Industry insiders suggest that at this level, public perception becomes tightly managed, whether by personal choice or professional advice. Any action that might overshadow upcoming projects can be minimized, including overt displays of personal relationships. Kylie Jenner's position in the cultural landscape adds another dimension. As one of the most recognizable figures in modern celebrity culture, her presence alone attracts cameras and commentary. Some fans argue that Chalamet's reserved demeanor may reflect an awareness of how quickly moments involving Jenner can dominate headlines, regardless of intent. In this reading, restraint becomes a strategic choice rather than a personal statement. Despite these explanations, emotional reactions from fans remain strong. Supporters who admire the couple as a symbol of two different worlds colliding express disappointment, feeling that something intangible has shifted. Others urge patience, reminding the public that relationships are not static performances designed for consumption. This divide has created an ongoing tension within fan communities, where optimism and concern coexist uneasily. Media coverage has adapted accordingly, shifting from speculation about a single incident to broader discussions about relationship dynamics under constant observation. Commentators increasingly frame this situation as an example of how celebrity couples are rarely allowed neutrality. Any attempt to appear normal or understated is quickly reinterpreted as evidence of trouble. What further complicates the narrative is the absence of contradictory evidence. There are no visible arguments, no reports of conflict, no confirmed sources indicating a rift. The entire discussion rests on interpretation, magnified by repetition. Each reposted clip reinforces the idea of change, even as the factual basis remains unchanged. This phenomenon underscores a larger truth about modern celebrity news cycles. Stories no longer require new information to persist, they only need sustained engagement. In this environment, silence is not empty, it becomes content in itself. For Chalamet and Jenner, every day without comment adds another layer to the story, regardless of their actual circumstances. Observers also point out that both figures have previously demonstrated an ability to navigate intense scrutiny without public clarification. Neither Chalamet nor Jenner is known for addressing rumors directly unless absolutely necessary. This established pattern suggests that continued silence may be intentional, reflecting confidence that speculation will eventually move on to the next headline. Yet for now, attention remains firmly fixed. Fans continue to watch for subtle cues, whether in future appearances, interviews, or social media activity. A single candid moment could recalibrate the narrative overnight, just as one reserved interaction set it in motion. Until such a moment arrives, the story exists in a space between perception and reality. It is shaped less by confirmed facts and more by collective interpretation. Timothée Chalamet's demeanor and Kylie Jenner's composure have become symbols onto which audiences project expectations, anxieties, and hopes about celebrity romance. In the absence of definitive answers, the situation serves as a reflection of the modern entertainment landscape. Relationships are no longer private experiences but ongoing public narratives, continuously rewritten by those watching from afar. For Chalamet and Jenner, the challenge lies not only in maintaining a relationship, but in existing within a spotlight that rarely allows complexity or nuance. As speculation continues, one conclusion remains unavoidable. Whether or not anything has truly changed between Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner, the way their relationship is perceived has undeniably shifted. And in a culture driven by visibility and interpretation, perception alone is often enough to keep a story alive long after the original moment has passed. As public attention intensifies, the narrative surrounding Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner continues to expand beyond the original moment that sparked debate. What began as fan speculation has now evolved into a broader discussion about visibility, expectation, and the cost of fame on personal relationships. Each new analysis adds another layer, turning subtle public behavior into a sustained global conversation. Media analysts point out that the reaction itself reveals as much about audience psychology as it does about the couple. Fans who feel invested in celebrity relationships often form emotional attachments based on curated images and past appearances. When those images shift, even slightly, it can trigger a sense of disruption. In this case, Chalamet's more restrained presence has been interpreted not only as a personal change, but as a break from a narrative fans had grown comfortable with. Meanwhile, comparisons to other high-profile couples have become increasingly common. Online discussions frequently reference past relationships that appeared stable until a noticeable cooling in public interactions preceded an official split. While these comparisons lack concrete relevance, they continue to shape perception, reinforcing the idea that visible affection is a barometer for relationship health. Critics argue that this mindset places unrealistic pressure on public figures to perform intimacy on demand. Industry insiders, however, caution that such assumptions ignore the realities of life under constant observation. Public appearances are often tightly scheduled, highly controlled environments where personal comfort takes a back seat to logistics and security. In these settings, even minor fatigue or distraction can be misread as emotional distance. According to sources familiar with celebrity event protocols, couples are sometimes advised to limit interaction precisely to avoid feeding speculation, ironically producing the opposite effect. Kylie Jenner's continued composure has also become a focal point of interpretation. Her ability to maintain a steady public image amid swirling rumors has been praised by some as emotional maturity, while others read it as detachment. This divergence highlights how the same behavior can generate conflicting narratives depending on audience expectations. In Jenner's case, her long history in the public eye has conditioned audiences to search for meaning in every expression. The silence from both parties remains the most powerful element of the story. Without direct statements, the media cycle relies on repetition rather than revelation. Each outlet reframes the same material through a slightly different lens, extending the life of the story without introducing new facts. This repetition has solidified the idea of change in the public consciousness, regardless of whether such change truly exists. Cultural commentators suggest that this situation reflects a shift in how celebrity news functions in the digital age. Stories are no longer driven solely by verified information, but by engagement metrics. If a topic generates clicks, shares, and debate, it sustains itself. The relationship between Chalamet and Jenner, already positioned at the intersection of multiple fan bases, is particularly vulnerable to this kind of amplification. Despite ongoing speculation, there has been no indication of conflict, disagreement, or separation. No anonymous sources have confirmed tension, and no independent reports suggest instability. The entire narrative continues to rest on interpretation of public demeanor rather than documented events. This distinction is often blurred in online discourse, Where perception can quickly be mistaken for fact, as attention persists, some fans have begun calling for a reassessment of boundaries between public interest and private life. They argue that constant scrutiny discourages authenticity and pressures celebrities into defensive behavior. Others counter that public figures inherently accept such attention as part of their careers. This ongoing debate mirrors the larger conversation surrounding fame and personal autonomy. Looking ahead, observers agree that the narrative could shift instantly. A relaxed appearance, an unguarded moment, or even a casual mention in an interview could dismantle weeks of speculation. Conversely, continued restraint may further entrench the perception of distance. In this sense, the story remains unresolved not because of hidden drama, but because of unanswered curiosity. For now, Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner remain at the center of a conversation shaped by fragments and assumptions. Their relationship, whether unchanged or evolving, has become a canvas for broader discussions about celebrity culture, audience expectation, and the meaning assigned to visibility. Until clarity emerges, the story continues to exist in a space defined less by evidence and more by interpretation, sustained by the enduring fascination of a public eager to read between the lines. As the spotlight remains fixed on Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner, the conversation has begun to take on a life of its own, extending far beyond the couple themselves. What is now unfolding is less about a single public appearance and more about how modern celebrity narratives are constructed, sustained, and consumed. The perceived shift in Chalamet's attitude has become a reference point, repeatedly revisited and reinterpreted as audiences search for meaning in familiarity and change. Social media data analysts observe that engagement around the couple spikes not when new information emerges, but when old material is reframed. Clips from past events are reposted with new captions, inviting viewers to reassess moments that were once seen as affectionate or neutral. This retroactive interpretation reinforces the belief that something has changed, even though the source material remains the same. In this way, the narrative evolves without actually moving forward. Within fan communities, the discussion has grown increasingly polarized. One side maintains that emotional shifts in public behavior should not be dismissed, arguing that celebrities often communicate indirectly through body language. For these fans, Chalamet's more restrained demeanor feels intentional, a subtle signal that contrasts too sharply with earlier appearances to be ignored. They frame their concern as attentiveness rather than intrusion. On the opposite side, many fans reject the premise entirely. They argue that relationships are not static performances and that expecting consistency in public affection is unrealistic. According to this view, the pressure to appear constantly in sync is itself a product of social media culture, where moments are flattened into narratives and nuance is lost. For them, the insistence on decoding every gesture says more about audience expectation than about the couple's reality. Entertainment journalists have increasingly adopted a cautious tone in their coverage. Rather than declaring a definitive change, many reports emphasize the absence of confirmation and the speculative nature of the discussion. Still, the topic continues to generate traffic, illustrating the tension between responsible reporting and audience demand. The story persists not because it has been proven, but because it remains unresolved. Another layer of analysis focuses on timing. Chalamet's professional commitments have intensified, placing him under heightened scrutiny as a leading figure in contemporary cinema. At this stage in his career, every public move is contextualized within a larger narrative of image, legacy, and marketability. Some observers suggest that his reserved public presence may reflect a deliberate effort to maintain focus amid escalating expectations. Kylie Jenner's role in the story is equally complex. As a figure whose life has been documented extensively, her ability to maintain composure under scrutiny is often interpreted as control rather than concealment. Yet this same composure invites speculation when paired with a partner whose demeanor appears more guarded. Together, their contrasting public styles create a dynamic that audiences are quick to interpret as imbalance. The lack of direct communication from either party continues to shape the narrative. In the absence of statements, the story relies on interpretation layered upon interpretation. Silence becomes an active element, filling space that might otherwise be occupied by clarification. For fans accustomed to constant updates, this absence can feel unsettling, prompting further analysis rather than closure. Cultural commentators argue that this pattern reflects a broader shift in how relationships are perceived in the public sphere. Visibility is often equated with authenticity, while restraint is mistaken for withdrawal. In reality, these signals may have little correlation with emotional truth. The distinction between what is seen and what is real becomes increasingly blurred as audiences grow accustomed to consuming personal narratives through fragments. Despite the intensity of discussion, it is important to note what has not occurred. There have been no confirmed reports of disagreement, no visible signs of conflict, and no credible sources indicating strain. The story remains rooted in perception rather than evidence. This gap between assumption and fact is where the narrative continues to expand. As days turn into weeks, the conversation begins to shift subtly. Some fans express fatigue, questioning how long a single moment can sustain interest. Others remain attentive, convinced that meaning will eventually surface. This ebb and flow mirrors the life cycle of many celebrity stories, where curiosity peaks before gradually dispersing unless reinforced by new developments. In this context, the situation surrounding Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner serves as a case study in modern fame. Their relationship exists at the intersection of cinema, business, and digital culture, making it especially susceptible to projection. Each audience brings its own expectations, and those expectations shape interpretation more powerfully than facts. Until something concrete changes, the narrative remains suspended. It is neither confirmed nor denied, neither escalated nor resolved. What persists is attention itself, sustained by the human impulse to find patterns and meaning. Whether the perceived change in Chalamet's attitude is real or imagined, its impact on public conversation is undeniable. Ultimately, the story highlights a fundamental reality of contemporary celebrity life. Relationships are no longer experienced solely by those within them, but observed, debated, and reimagined by millions. For Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner, the challenge is not only navigating a relationship, but existing within a culture that continuously seeks significance in every silence and every glance.